It was a Les Paul guitar, and whoever took the ad said something about, it was a 1958 or 9, and they said a nice elderly instrument. And we just looked at that and said, that's the name we've been looking for. For about a year before we opened up, we were trying to buy and sell vintage musical instruments, which a lot of those at that time were just being made. The new instruments that were being made in those days were, generally speaking, not as good for players as the ones that were made, say, prior to 1940 or 45 for acoustic instruments and prior to 1960 for electric instruments. However, starting in the 1980s, all of a sudden the new guitar companies and other makers started going back to a lot of the old techniques and the old styles, and it's been a gradual process. But nowadays, you can get brand new instruments that are made and just as well, and in some cases better than the pre-war ones. They might not sound quite as good because there's an aging process that occurs. But boy, the new instruments that we sell nowadays, I just love, because most of them, a lot of them, because they're just top-notch. So we started, and we were in this space that had about 8 or 9 or other small, very small businesses, in kind of similar. Most of them were a little bit larger space than we had, but generally speaking, it was a bunch of young people trying to figure out how to have stores. A fellow who worked for us, who had been working for us at that time for maybe 10 years or so, he came up to me and he said, "Hey, have you ever thought about like having a website?" And I was kind of only vaguely familiar. I mean, I knew that such a thing existed. So I said, go ahead and do it. And he said, "Well, actually, I've already got something set up for you." And that, of course, changed everything. I mean, the whole world changed when that happened really for everybody, and for better or for worse, I mean, in some cases. Right behind you is my heir apparent, Stan Werbin. And my hope is that I'll be comfortably sitting around with my feet up on a lawn chair somewhere. Oh, she's going to throw me out as soon as possible. And she'll be, moving this on into a new direction, maybe, I don't know.